Hi guys, Sarah here and welcome to Novel Expectations. Today I'm coming to you with my 21st weekly wrap-up of 2016. So, another 2 books done this week, but unfortunately it was not a good reading week for me. Not in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality. So, let's jump into my challenges and how I'm doing first. So, I'm currently 5 books ahead of schedule in my Goodreads challenge. That is because I actually finished one of the middle grade books that I'm reading for middle grade May. I am not including those in this wrap-up. I'm going to do a separate wrap-up of all those shortly. Or next week, excuse me. So, 5 books ahead of schedule. For my A to Z Authors Challenge and my A to Z Titles Challenge, I have not changed since last week. I'm at 15 out of 26 for the authors and 17 out of 26 for the titles. For my 2016 How Many Pages Have I Read? I've read 12,056 pages this year, 48%. I'm thinking by my next wrap-up next week, I will be over the 50% mark, which is insane. Yeah, that's amazing. And Jelly Belly Jelly Bean Challenge, still no flavors completed. So, let's jump into the books that I read this week that I was not impressed with. So, the first one was Bourguignonville by Heather Graham. This was published in 2015. I gave it 2.5 stars. This was nowhere near the quality of a Heather Graham book, in my opinion. It was a novella, to be fair, but I didn't like the characters. I didn't care for the plot. I actually didn't think there was much of a plot, to be completely honest. There was insta-love in it, which generally I don't mind, but it just seemed a little out of place. Like, they had to fit that element into the story of a romance, and the whole story was about this woman named Kat? See, I can't remember at this point, who was born in this place in Florida, this estate, and then her mother dies when she was like 4 or 5, and her father, it's too painful, moves her up to Boston. Well, now her father passed away, and she's gone back. She's been summoned back, and this extended family lives in this compound. And you know right from the beginning that one of them murdered her mother, even though everybody thinks that the mother died, like she not committed suicide but drowned. I'm not explaining it well, but that's because the book wasn't that great. And that's really all I have to say on it, guys. Honestly, this is not part of a series. Don't waste your time. Still read Heather Graham. She's absolutely fantastic. This one was just not to the quality that I think she can write at. So, that's my own 2 cents on it. The second book that I finished this week was The Scoop by Fern Michaels. This is book number 1 in the Godmother series. It was published in 2009, and I gave it 2 stars. And I actually wanted to DNF this more times than I care to think about. And I physically couldn't DNF it. Isn't that weird? Like, I would decide I'm not reading it anymore, and like, just say forget about it, but then like an hour later I'd be like, but I want to finish it. It has to get better. Oh, it was so painful to read. Like, have you guys ever had that with a book? Did I waste my time with it? Probably. That's 2 days or 3 days that I could have been reading something else, but it is what it is. This was a contemporary romance. And, you know, like a typical contemporary romance, I assumed it was going to be about a guy and a girl. For the first 25 to 30% of the book, it was about said girl's mother, Toots, who was in her 60s. And she has 3 friends who are Abby, which is Toots' daughter. My guess would be the heroine of the story, but you didn't even see or talk to her until 30% of the way through the book. And the other 3 ladies are Abby's godmothers, so where this, like, series comes from. I hated the older ladies. Hated them. Like, I would be reading it and actually cringe. Toots, as is explained about 37,000 times in the book, has more money than she knows what to do with. And literally, if there's a problem, she throws money at it. That just, I don't know what it is, it infuriated me to no end. Like, you know, she pays for her friends to fly down for a visit, which is great. If you got the money to do that, that's fabulous. But then her first friend shows up and her friends put on weight. So all of a sudden, Toots decides, well, she's going to hire a doctor, and she's going to hire a nutritionist, and she's going to do this, and her friend's going to lose the weight. And she starts steamrolling over her, telling her she has to do it. Well, that's not your business. What if she doesn't want to? You know, the other friend has major OCD over, like, germs because her husband died of some virus. And ever since her husband died of this virus, she's afraid of germs, which is, it's a psychiatric or a psychological problem. But again, Toots figures, if I throw enough money at it, it'll fix the problem. Well, no, that's not the way it works. And her daughter is about to lose her job at this tabloid magazine in Los Angeles because the owner wants to sell to pay off his gambling debts. Well, what does Toots do? Buys the paper, because that's what you do. It just irked on me. And the other friend, the third godmother, her husband is close to death. She was celebrating the fact that he was going to die. Now, you do find out the backstory about the reason why this character does not like her husband. And I can see it, that she's not happy. And she was abused, essentially. But, I don't know. It was just in poor taste, in my opinion. Once you eventually got into the story of Abby and her relationship with Chris, it was better. But because the four ladies, the older ladies, were such a big part of this book, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And Fern Michaels is a great writer, though. She's a New York Times best-selling author. This just, I didn't like those characters. I'm sorry. And I could not identify with them. The plot was dumb, to be completely honest. Throwing money at a problem just isn't realistic, in my opinion. And I do like some realism in with what I read. You know, like, I don't know. I can't say any more about this book. I didn't like it. If you guys have read any Fern Michaels and there were ones that you liked better, please let me know which ones, because I would really love to read them to give this author another chance. I don't think it was the author. I just think it was it was the author, but it wasn't the writing. I think it was just the characters that really set this off for me in a lot of situations. On to bigger and better things. So, what am I currently reading? For the middle grade May that I am working on, I am about halfway through Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. This is the first book. I literally picked this up last night. I forgot how quick this reads. So far, Harry and the gang have just arrived at Hogwarts. So, I just love this. I've only read this once before. And I've only seen the movie once. But the scene in Diagon, is it Diagon Alley? Where he's going shopping and he gets the owl and he gets his wand. That has always stood out to me as being so awesome. And I love this book. And I can't believe I've taken this long to reread it. I'm thoroughly, thoroughly enjoying it. So I'm actually reading quite a number of things. So the next thing I'm actually reading is The Lost Daughter of Pigeon Hollow by Ingrid Cooper. Yes, I don't think I've moved any further on this one. It's been a really busy week for me. I finished those other two books. I think I didn't pick this up because I hated the scoop so much that I literally wanted to finish it as quickly as humanly possible. And I think I actually kind of skipped over a lot of the end chapters, like just kind of flipped through them. But anyway, so this is going to get a lot of love this week. I will get this one done this week, and I will have it to review for you guys next week. Fingers crossed. The next book I'm reading on my e-reader is A Risk Worth Taking by Victoria James. This one was kind of an unexpected surprise for me. I'm about 20% of the way in it, and I love it. I don't want to put it down. For the middle grade May books that I'm reading, I will not be taking these with me to work. I'll be reading these at home at night. And I think isn't it funny? If I took this one in, I think people might ask, oh, are you reading Harry Potter? But I feel if I take in a Babysitter's Club book, I might hurt my reputation at work. Does that sound weird? No, you guys are probably agreeing with me. But yeah, so this one I think would be okay. Not Sweet Valley, but Nancy Drew and maybe the Babysitter's Club, not so much. So I'll be reading on my e-reader. But like I said, this was an unexpected surprise because it takes place in Toronto or just outside Toronto. So it's another by a Canadian author in a Canadian setting. So this is awesome. I'm really happy. And the last thing that I'm currently reading is actually my audiobook, and that is Dragonfly in Amber by Diana Gabaldon. I'm about 20% of the way through this. Oh, I just love this story. I love it. I love it. And I finally, last Sunday night, I started watching the first season of Outlander, and I love it. Jamie's just Jamie. That's all I have to say. You guys who have seen the TV show know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, guys, that's it for me this week. What have you guys been reading, and is there anything that you really loved this week that you read or you didn't like so much? And again, if you have a recommendation for a Fern Michaels book, please post in the comments below. And until my next video, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.